Chapter 23. Painless childbirth through hygienic living during gestation. Maya, the mother of Buddha, when about to give birth to her child, walked off into the woods, and, while standing up, her son gently emerged from her womb, passing into the hands of one of her attendants. As a result of her vegetarian diet and her chastity during gestation, for she then lived alone in a garden, not only was her child painlessly born, but it came out perfectly clean, untainted by vernix caseosa. Jesus, as a result of his mother's chaste living and her vegetarian diet during pregnancy, was also born in a painless manner, without external assistance, emerging pure and clean. Muhammad was painlessly born. The mother of Honen Shonin, the Buddhist saint, as a result of her vegetarian diet, was free from sickness during pregnancy and pain during childbirth. Confucius was born in a cave, Apollonius of Tyana was born while his mother was alone in a meadow, and Saint Francis was born in a stable. In all the above cases, the mothers were not given drugs or anesthetics, nor was the umbilical cord cut and tied by a physician or a midwife. No woman is truly educated who does not know the hygienic methods of ensuring painless childbirth. This knowledge will remove many groundless fears which are the results of ignorance and misinformations. As in the case of the animal, nature has constructed the human organism for the easy and natural accomplishment of childbirth. It is only the unhealthy and artificial life of civilized woman, and crude methods of medical interference, which makes childbirth as painful and dangerous as it is. By chastity, natural food, and hygienic living during gestation, childbirth will become an act of joy rather than of suffering, something to be happily looked forward to, instead of feared and dreaded. The first factor in ensuring painless childbirth is continence during gestation. Intercourse at this time, by irritating and inflaming the female sex organs, causes hemorrhages and pain during parturition. At one time, the author had a considerable experience with the Omaha and Pawnee Indians, and she studied these points with great care. She can most emphatically verify the foregoing, and furthermore can sustain the statements often made as to the painless confinements of Indian women. The natural delivery is severe muscular action, often, but not actual pain. Often an Indian mother has given birth to a babe in the afternoon and gone on the march the next morning. There is no denying the fact that the major part of suffering and discomfort of childbirth is due to sexual connection during gestation. The second factor in ensuring painless childbirth is correct diet. Animal foods, such as meat, chicken, fish and eggs, are poisons to the embryonic child, and should never be eaten. The diet should consist of raw vegetables, fruits, and nuts. It is very important that the embryo receive sufficient organic minerals for the formation of its ductless glands and internal organs. These are more essential than protein, carbohydrates, and fats, which are more required during postnatal development, when the child engages in muscular activity. Dr. Cowan says, pure blood being a requirement in the right growth of the child, it is almost unnecessary to say that a clean, sweet, lovable baby cannot be grown by a mother who uses fat meats, pork, spices, grease, tea, coffee, beer, whiskey, wine, etc., and even lean, fresh or healthy beef or mutton, the least hurtful of flesh diets, are not fit to make babies of the right stamp. Undeniably, the best food for mothers, during this period of pregnancy, is fruit and vegetables in as near to their natural condition as possible. Dr. Stockham says, the fruit diet prevents the diseases of pregnancy and the sufferings of parturition. Indigestion, biliousness, headache, constipation, insomnia and vomiting during pregnancy are, to a great measure, caused by wrong food. A pregnant woman, in a perfect state of health, does not require any more food because pregnant than she should if otherwise. Overeating during pregnancy causes the child to be excessively large, which leads to painful childbirth. A very large baby, encumbered with fat, is less healthy than a small one, contrary to popular opinions. The uterus, in which the embryo grows, is situated between the bladder and the rectum. When these are distended, it is compressed, and the growth of the child is inhibited. Therefore, overeating should be avoided, as this compression is liable to reduce the size of the embryonic brain. Laxatives or purgatives should never be used, for they are injurious both to mother and child. On a raw vegetable and fruit diet, they will never be required. It is especially important to avoid the use of bread and cereals during gestation, if painless childbirth is to be ensured. Not only are these foods not required, but they contain a great deal of inorganic matter which causes a premature ossification of the bones of the embryo, resulting in its difficult emergence. A too early consolidation of the bones of the fetus is one of the reasons for dangerous and painful childbirth. This in a great measure can be avoided, and the pain and labor greatly lessened, if the woman will, previous to confinement, abstain from graham or white flour, beans, peas, barley, and all farinaceous substances, and milk, butter and cheese, in the place of these, using only fruits and vegetables. The child born under these conditions will be softer and smaller than usual, but will soon grow in strength and beauty. Another writer says, I was more particularly impressed with the importance of such a view, by the fact that in various parts of the world the females are comparatively free from the evils generally attending the females or European society. Among the Araucanian Indians of South America, a mother, immediately on her delivery, takes her child, and going to the nearest stream of water, washes herself in it, and returns to the usual labors of her station. Many accounts have been given of these and the females of other tribes requiring no more than 10 or 15 minutes for all purposes connected with delivery. In proportion as a female subsists during gestation upon aliment free from calcareous earthly matter, will she retard the consolidation of the child and thus prevent pain and danger in delivery. Hence, the following may be given as an axiom for the guidance of females at these particular times. The more ripe fruit and the less of other kinds of food, but particularly of bread or pastry of any kind, they consume during pregnancy, the less difficulty will they have in labor. It is quite true to suppose that nutritious food is necessary to support and strengthen the fetus, but the nutritious and the solid earthly matter in food are very different substances. Wheaten flour, on account of its containing so much earthly matter, is the most dangerous article a female can live on when pregnant. The other grains are bad enough, but better than wheat. Outdoor exercise, as is involved in gardening, is very important in preparation for a painless childbirth, and the easy confinement of Indian women is partly due to this reason. Deep breathing of pure country air is also essential, since the expectant mother breathes for two. The poisonous carbon monoxide of gasoline smoke is especially to be avoided. A daily cold bath is required, and also exposure each day of the nude body, particularly the abdomen and breasts, to the sun's rays. The ultraviolet rays, present at high altitudes, are extremely beneficial. Clothing should be light, loose and hung from the shoulders, wearing no woolen underwear, abdominal support, or anything tight around the waist or breasts. A woman who lives hygienically during gestation has no need to, and should never subject herself to vaginal medical examination. This crude and ugly practice, by which the physician puts his finger into the pregnant woman's vagina, pressing in upon the embryo from below as well as from outside, leads to injurious consequences both to mother and child. Continent and hygienic living during pregnancy will obviate all danger of fetal displacement or miscarriage, and no examination will be necessary. Neither will there be need for a physician to know the exact time of delivery, nor, in fact, will a physician then be necessary.